You see, the great cosmic joke of relationships in our time is that we so often approach them as though we were purchasing a brand new car. We want to be the first, the only, the singular experience in the life of another. And yet, the reality is, your beloved has danced with others before you, perhaps many others. And somewhere in the back of your mind, a restless little voice whispers, what if one of those dances was more exquisite than mine? The insecure mind clings to the past, like a drowning man clutching at driftwood, fearing that their lover is secretly pining for some bygone ecstasy. Perhaps she has a memory, a phantom thrill, a ghost of passion that lingers in the corridors of her heart, one you will never quite match. But the trick is this. You are tilting at windmills, fighting an illusion, for no one ever steps into the same river twice, and no experience is ever repeated in precisely the same way. Yet, the ego, poor thing, wants to be the grandest, the best, the summit of all summits. And this is where it becomes terribly entangled, demanding reassurance, conjuring illusions, where past lovers were inferior, where no thrill before you was ever real. But what a tiresome charade. The mind imprisoned by such insecurity builds walls rather than bridges, turns love into a contract rather than an adventure. And the irony? The more one tries to possess, the more one suffocates the very thing they seek to hold. For you see, love, real love, is not a jealous warden, but a current, a flowing, dynamic thing. It is not a fortress to defend, but a sky to soar in. When you make a prison of your partner's past, you make an exile of yourself in the present. But if you can step beyond the small self, the grasping, clutching, desperate self, you will find something marvelous, an openness, a spaciousness, a freedom in which love is not diminished by another's joy, but amplified. Now, if you can truly revel in your beloved's pleasures of the past, why stop there? Why not delight in their pleasures of the present? This is where the mind balks, where fear kicks and screams, because it has been conditioned to believe that love is ownership, that pleasure must be contained, corralled, and leashed. But consider, does a meal become less delicious because your lover has tasted other fine cuisines? Does a song lose its beauty because it has been heard before? The ego recoils, fearing that another's embrace, another's touch, another's delights might somehow shrink you, diminish you. But is that not the very root of suffering? This notion that we must hoard joy rather than let it breathe, to insist that every pleasure must center around you. That is the grandest illusion of all. Love does not contract, it expands. The more you resist, the more it writhes. The more you open, the more it flows. And so, what a wondrous thing it is to be the partner not of a prisoner, but of a sovereign being, one who is free to experience, to feel, to delight, and then to return to you, not out of duty or fear, but out of sheer, uncontainable joy. That, my friend, is where true intimacy begins. Western society, of course, has its peculiar little games. It loves to reduce love to contracts, to numbers, to ledgers of who belongs to whom. But this is an impoverished way of being. True companionship, deep companionship, is not measured in exclusivity, but in presence, in delight, in the joyous dance of two souls who are not bound by chains, but bound by choice. So let go of the small, frightened self. Let go of the fear that you must be everything to another, or that you must compete with ghosts. Love is not a zero-sum game. It is the great unfolding, the great undulating wave, the cosmic laughter of the universe playing upon itself. And in that laughter, in that expansion, you may just find a love that is deeper, freer, and infinitely more alive.